of all the things in the world, of all the things that a human being can do, why yoga? Everything that human beings can do is essentially an expression of who they are. Somebody sings a song, somebody dances, somebody writes a book, somebody paints a picture. Whatever else we do is an expression of who you are. You may be conscious of it, you may be unconscious of it, but still everything that you say, everything that you do, everything that comes out of you is essentially an expression of who you are. So yoga, in that way, is diametrically opposite to this, because it's not an expression of who you are. It's about determining as to who you are. It's about determining as to what you want to be. Changing the very fundamentals of one's existence. Today, there is substantial medical and scientific evidence to show that the very fundamentals of the activity of your brain, your chemistry, even your genetic content can be changed by practicing different systems of yoga. This needed no confirmation because we've always witnessed this. But today there is scientific data to prove this. So this is not an expression of who you are, this is about determining the nature of who you wish to be, changing the fundamental ingredients which has made you who you are. So yoga as a system needs much more involvement than any other things that any other forms of things that we do, which are merely an expression of who we are. If you find full expression through any particular activity, it may also leave you somewhat transformed. If you cook with all your heart, some transformation may happen. Yes, taking care of a cow can change your life, you know. If you sing with all your heart, some transformation may happen. If you dance with all your heart, some transformation may happen. But that is only a certain impact that is happening because of absolute involvement in a particular activity. But essentially that activity by nature is an expression of who you are. It is not determining the nature of who you are. So when we transform our activity, not as an expression of who we are, because who wants to find expression like this in the morning? Definitely not, isn't it? So, it is not an expression, it is a method, it is a means, it's a technology through which you can change the shape of who you are. Literally also, otherwise also. You can change the very shape of who you really are right now, that can be transformed. Because who you are right now as a person is a combination of things. Genetic material, before that, the karmic substance that you carry. Because of that, you chose a certain womb, so the genetic material. And since the moment you were born, whatever kind of impressions that have gone into you in the form of variety of experiences, situations, thoughts, emotions, relationships, associations, whatever else you have imbibed, all these things make you a certain kind of person. When you say, I am a certain kind of person, what you're saying is, I have this kind of compulsions. When you say, I am this kind of person, what you're saying is, this is the kind of compulsions that I identify myself with, so I am this kind of a person. People, it's a very Western thing, but it's very much there in India today, because a lot of Indians are far more Western than West. If you go all the way west, you come back to India. So they are much more Western than Westerners are today. So people say, I'm a morning person, I'm an evening person. So what they mean is, morning, I cannot wake up in the morning. That means I'm an evening person. I can't stay awake in the evening, so I'm a morning person. Not only that, people… it's going far, some are BlackBerry people, some are Apple people. It's all world is getting divided in so many ways. They're not just instruments that you use and keep it down, you get identified with it. So there are chapati people, there are rice people, there are dosa people, there are idli people, all kinds. So, what kind you are is essentially a certain type of compulsions. 15,000 years ago, a yogi appeared in the upper regions of Himalayas. Nobody knew where he came from, his antecedents were completely unknown. So people gathered around him because he was such a phenomenal presence. A large group of people gathered like this. They expected him to say something, do something. He did nothing, he said nothing, simply he sat. If I simply sat here for 2 hours, I can imagine, within 15 minutes, those people in the last few rows, and they will slowly, still there's time for the cinema, let's go. If I said nothing for 2 hours, 90% of the people will be gone. If I said nothing for 6 hours, only a few hardcore ones will hang on, rest are all gone. Same happened to him. He said nothing, did nothing, simply sat still. Not for a day, not for a week, for months on end, he simply sat still. Everybody was expecting a miracle, nothing happened, he just sat. But they were missing a most fundamental miracle because the nature of your body is such right now, you're well attended to. You had lunch in the afternoon and maybe you snacked in the evening and so that you don't fall asleep, you had a coffee and maybe you have something in your bag. So many things. All these things are being attended to, so this is fine. Suppose we just make you sit here for 4 hours. Sadguru, at least some water? Okay, drink water. After drinking water, can we just sit here, Sadguru? That one? Okay, do that and come. Sadguru, okay, if you give this, the next one, no permission, this'll just go. Or in other words, what you call as a body is a series of processes. Only if you're attending to them, it's fine. If you don't attend to it, then you see what a trouble it is. When you do not attend to the body, if you're hungry or why all that, people say, how long 1 minute is, depends on which side of the bathroom door you are. From inside, somebody says just 1 minute. Outside, it's 1 eon, okay? So because this is the nature of the body, if you do not attend to it, it'll become so compulsive and get you into such big trouble. But here he just sat. He neither ate, nor drank water, nor went to attend to nature's calls, simply he sat still. People could not even make out whether he's alive or dead. The only sign of life was, off and on, tears of ecstasy were dribbling down his cheeks, otherwise he simply sat unmoving. Then only 7 people hung on. They realized the miracle of him sitting here like this. Because if he has to sit here like this, he has transcended physical nature, otherwise you cannot sit like this. These 7 people hung on. Today we celebrate these 7 people as the Sapta Rishis. These were his first disciples of the Adiyogi. So this Adiyogi just sat there, these 7 people showed interest. He told them, this is not for you, this is not entertainment. But they said, no, we're willing to do anything. He gave them a few preparatory steps. They prepared for many years. Then one day when the solstice was shifting, just now, we shifted from summer solstice to winter solstice on December 22nd. It'll again happen on June 21st, and this coming June 21st is significant for the world, because this is the day when Adiyogi first turned south and gave his teaching. Because the sun turned south, he turned south and started explaining the mechanics of being human. On this day, fortunately, the world, the United Nations has declared the World Yoga Day because the yoga began on that day. This incredible process of exploring the human mechanics went into the process. This predates all religion. When there was no religion on the planet, 15,000 years ago, he went into the mechanics of what it means to be human. And various aspects happened. He opened up 112 different ways in which a human being can attain to his ultimate nature. And when people asked, especially his wife Parvati asked, why not more? Why only 112? Then he said, if you are rooted in the body, there are only 112 possibilities. If you transcend the body, how many atoms there are in this universe, that many doorways are there if you're willing to explore it. But if you're rooted in this body, there are only 112 ways. And the whole yogic system subscribes to this even today because nobody has found more ways. Any number of yogis have explored in 1,000,000 different ways, but there is no other doorway. In this body, there are 112 ways into which you get there. So for this, how to generate this, how to make this work the way you want it. So this whole mechanics, he started, Adiyogi explored for many years, and he gave this elaborate knowledge to the world, and then asked these 7 people to go in 7 different directions in the world. One went to Central Asia, another went to North Africa, another went to South America, another went to Southeast Asia, one came down to what we call as the Indian part of Himalayas, one stayed with him, and one more, who is very important for us, Agastya Muni, came down south. He is known as the father of southern mysticism because he did not spare a single human habitation south of the Vindhyas. In the Deccan Plateau, he made sure every single human being who lived in this place had some sense of spiritual process. Essentially, if your energy body is balanced and fully activated, there can be no physical or psychological ailment in you. It's simply not possible. I can show you hundreds and thousands of people who walked out of their ailments completely, simply not by any treatment, simply by bringing a certain balance to their system. There are any number of people, it's not some kind of a miraculous thing. It is just a deeper understanding of the system. And the system is a miracle, there's no question about that. This is a miracle, isn't it? No? Yes or no? It's a phenomenal miracle, isn't it? So, the magic is already there, you just have to play with it right, that's all. You don't have to do any extra magic. Already everything is magical, isn't it so in the existence? Yes or no? Every atom is a magic by itself because we've still not figured anything in its entirety. So, very simple. You don't have to do any great yoga of twisting yourself upside down and all that. Simple things. If you breathe right and keep your body in a certain level of balance, you will see there is no need to have any kind of ailments. Ailments are of two kinds. One is infectious. Infectious means it's an invasion from outside that we have to deal with medicine. For that you must go to the doctor. But over 70% of the ailments on the planet are chronic in nature. That means you are producing your own ailment. Self-help, this is called. Because nobody is bothering you, you want to do something to yourself. So, over 70% of the ailments are because of self-help. People are generating ailments from within. And this cannot be cured by any medicine. You can only manage it. You can never cure it. But the very source of making this body is within us. It comes from within. Your heart, liver, kidney, everything manufactured from within, isn't it? If you do certain simple things, if you allow, fixing also happens from within. And every human being is capable of this. It's just that they never paid attention to it. Only advantage is, if you go to your doctor, he will do it. These things you must do, that's the only problem. The Hatha Yoga, as we are teaching, this is not happening now, this has happened for millennia in this form. This is a lineage where nobody left a signature on the yoga.
I think what makes this program different and unique from any other program is that the asanas here are very much a live process. It's a classical Hatha Yoga, and so I'm noticing that every day it's something that's living within you, that's something that is growing, it's something that's evolving within you. All of the asanas, the postures are done with eyes closed, and that makes the world of the difference. It's not a performance anymore, it's the fact that we close our eyes during most of the postures makes it so that it's much more of an inward process.
So what makes something classical is, one thing is the period of its existence, which definitely all yoga has. In a specific form, if it has existed for a period, and another thing for a language is that it must have a substantial body of literature. That is, it is not just people are speaking it, many people have written many things about it, explored various dimensions of life using that language. there is a substantial body of literature and it has existed for a sufficient amount of time where you really can't pin the exact date when it started. The Hatha Yoga, as we are teaching, this is not happening now, this has happened for millennia in this form. Because the significance of this lineage is, this is a lineage which clearly understands we are dumb idiots. When you know you're a dumb idiot, you will not try to change anything. That's the significance of being stupid. Hello? When you think you're stupid, you don't think you will have to innovate, isn't it? People who think they're smart, they always have to make something of their own, they have to leave a signature. So this is a lineage where nobody left a signature on the yoga. I even feel within myself, I shouldn't tell you this, but now you asked, I'm telling you, I don't feel right to even call it Isha classical Hatha Yoga. Within me, it's not okay. Classical Hatha Yoga, that's all it is. Isha is added because today's world functions with brand, and you must understand, the brand of Isha has been built with blood and sweat. Classical Hatha Yoga, that's all. Because no frills, no addition from us, just the way it was, and its potential is limitless. Here it sits, we can codify it in many ways, we can teach it to you, we can put it in the form of energy, we can make it in so many ways. So in this context, yoga, the application of yoga is limitless. So it has a body and its age is also quite timeless, at least in human perspective. So that qualifies for classical Hatha Yoga.
It's taught in a really traditional way. Like, the Gurukuls in India, it's like that. It's not like a school or a college or a university, though it's international. People from all over the world come here. But still, the sanctity of the process, the sacredness of the process, and tradition in which it has to be taught, that is maintained. And that's what makes a whole lot of difference here.
During the session, before any new asana, we watch a demonstration of the posture that shows the smallest details of how we are supposed to do the asana, how to stand, how your body alignment should be, and even how your fingers should be. We went through two types of practice correction. The first one was partner correction. Each one of us joins with a partner and correct the postures for each other. The good thing here is that I'm able to see other participants' mistakes and relate them to my mistakes too. By watching others, I can understand those small details. The second type of practice correction is one-on-one practice corrections with the teachers. I discovered that there are many mistakes I didn't realize I was doing, and now I'm paying much more attention to how I do the asana.
One thing that I've been noticing, we're doing a process called visualization. It's really about to train the mind to visualize the posture we get in. So we not only use and develop the body, but we also start using the mind as well. So we just close our eyes and visualize it, so that we can really train and use the mind to the full extent.
Yoga was booming all around, and I was drawn to it was mainly because of the psychological balance as well as the physical benefits that you get from it. But I didn't have a proper source, so I did some YouTube yoga. It was some postures and the explanations on how to do it. It was so not working out. I used to just copy the move with music running in the background. I can't even imagine doing such a thing right now. There was no focus on the breath. So I did that for a few months, injured my right shoulder, and obviously I had to stop it. I had no idea I would be introduced to this place where they have so much depth to everything. We are asked to put focus on every single movement, coordinated with the breath.
At first I was like,
oh, this hurts, that hurts, my stomach hurts. Every day I actually want to do more of it so that I can break that limitation of, that resistance that I have towards sadhana. Every day I wake up thinking, yeah, let's push yourself a little more, and maybe we'll get there a little quicker. So yeah, and can't wait to lose some more weight, man. This is like, it's dragging me down a little bit. So I want to be out there, but the body is a limitation. So I'll work on it more.
I'm not only learning Hatha Yoga, actually I'm learning a new way of life and learning the ideal way of becoming a Hatha Yoga teacher. And I'm also becoming more aware of unconscious patterns of my life. Everything in the program is very precise, and I'm looking forward to learn more from Isha.
Like never before, distortions are also happening to yoga. Serious distortions. Most ridiculous distortions are happening. So at a time like this, going out in the world and offering, mark my words, I'm saying offering. Offering classical Hatha yoga is a very significant and an important thing to do, because the populations on the planet are showing interest, but to provide the genuine thing is a tremendous responsibility. Yoga means, in a way, you're trying to marry the cosmos, union with the cosmos. You should not take yourself seriously, but because of what you offer, other people should take you seriously. You take yourself seriously, then you're your partner, cosmos. You're a ridiculous fool when you have a partner like that, no matter how smart you are, isn't it? So that's what yoga means, you're trying union with… So don't ever think you're too smart, you're stupid, but that's what is good about you, because you know. Most other idiots do not know. That's a big thing. The difference between being intelligent and stupid is just this. An intelligent person knows that he's stupid, an idiot does not know that he's an idiot. That's the whole problem. Yoga means you constantly realizing, because you're constantly enhancing your perception. As your perception becomes keener and keener, you're constantly enhancing. If you have to constantly enhance, you must clearly understand that you don't know a damn thing. Otherwise, the moment you think, I know, you will stop. That means no yoga. The day we have produced, let's say, 10,000 classical Hatha Yoga teachers who are actively on in the world, after that, this will become the standard. That's all we need to do. So, you must live and offer this in such an inspiring way, anybody who sees you should want to do it this way. They must understand the reason why we are taking so much care. For future generations on this planet, it's very important that this science is preserved in its pristine form, not in some crazy ways of doing things.